Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a My 2 Cent video for this week, for the week of October 5th to 11th, 2025, where I take a look at a couple of stories that caught my attention and give you my thoughts and my opinion about them. And we got 5 stories to cover this week, including the Circana numbers from August 2025, which some interesting numbers indeed. Nintendo releasing a very odd short video called Close to You and all, which later got confirmed what a lot of people thought it was going to be. Microsoft basically responding to reports that they are they are not going to be doing the next Xbox or anything like that, which prompted them to respond to. And Digital Foundry did an interesting report on the Switch 2's DLSS, which seemed, at least according to what Digital Foundry is saying, these may have found like 2 versions of DLSS in the Switch 2 and all. If you're interested where I got the source of these information, links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this either on YouTube or Patreon, as well as the timestamps as well if there are certain parts of this video you wish to skip to and all. But before we begin, I do like to start with what I like to call is the quick My 2 Cents, stories that kind of caught my attention, but we're not going to go into a huge amount of details. The first one has to do with Nintendo expanding the Nintendo Switch Online library with 3 Super Nintendo titles. One of them is Buzzy, even though that game I believe is released as part of the Buzzy collection from Limited Run Games though. But the other one that I thought was kind of interesting was a Mario and Wario title that supposedly will support the Switch 2's mouse. But what makes this interesting is that this was a Japanese-only title for the Super Nintendo or the Super Famicom in Japan and all. So it's very rare, or very interesting, but also somewhat rare to see Japanese titles make their way to Nintendo Switch's online service. And I wouldn't mind Nintendo releasing more of these Japanese titles that never saw the light of day here in the West, though. So I would be open to see more of these titles here or there. Maybe some from the N64, maybe some from the GameCube, to even some on the NES and Super NES. So more of these titles would be great. There is one in particular that I think a lot of Nintendo fans would like to see, and I think it's long overdue that Nintendo brings it over to the West, and that is Mother 3, aka the third Earthbound game and all. So great that we're seeing some more titles added to the Switch library. Very interesting to see a Japanese-only title make its way to the Switch library or NSO's library and all. We also learned that basically one of the leakers, I believe Nate the Hate, I could be wrong on this, seemed to indicate that it's still backing up claims that a port of Red Dead Redemption 2 for the Xbox Series, PS5, and the Switch 2 are still happening. Now, it is worth pointing out Rockstar has not said anything at this time, so it remains to be seen if this exists and all. And it should also be taken with a grain, this rumor should be taken with a grain of salt. That said, I do think Nate the Hate does have a good track record to some degree, and he is right sometimes and all. So I wouldn't outright dismiss this, not to mention the fact the first Red Dead Redemption was ported over to the PS4, PS5, and the Nintendo Switch, Switch 1, with the full game along with the DLC into the Nintendo Switch cartridge. So it's by no means out of the realm of possibility. If this game does exist and it does come to the Switch 2 and all, then if a Switch 2 version is going to happen, I would not be surprised if we hear that it's a game key card. I know that's something not every Nintendo fan wants to hear, but I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case if it is a game key card. But we'll have to wait and see, and hopefully the game does exist and all. We also learned that Yak Clubs, the folks behind the Shovel Knights games, though, Mirror the Holler, has been delayed. It was supposedly originally supposed to come out this month or something, but they decided to push it back. It seems that they need some more time basically ironing out some certain areas, though, which is unfortunate, but judging by the footage we've seen so far of the game, I mean, it might be worth the wait. No, it is sort of a 2D game with like an old school, old school style and everything, much like how Shovel Knight is. So yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see, though. Hopefully we'll hear more about this title at some point down the road. We also learned that supposedly a new video came out that basically talked about discussions about the future of the PlayStation 6 and everything. This had to do with basically, I think Mark Cerny speaking with AMD, talking about what we could expect to it. Although some reports have basically pointed out that basically we may be waiting a while for the PS6 and everything like that. So it's going to be very interesting, especially where the economy and other situations as well, to see what the price will be for that system. We're also, not to mention, we're also learning that the partnership for the PS6 will also benefit other companies as well, other gaming platforms, including the Xbox, since we know they have a partnership with AMD as well for the next Xbox and everything like that. We also learned that supposedly, and this is considered a rumor, we don't know how accurate this may be, is the fact that there was plans for a Assassin's Creed game set post-American Civil War. However, the claim is that the game was canceled due to fears of basically the backlash over one of the characters in Assassin's Creed Shadows, despite the fact that supposedly, historically accurately, there was a quote black samurai to the political environment here in the US, which, assuming this rumor is true, and there is that possibility, it is a little bit unfortunate though if that is the case, because it would be interesting to do one based either around or after the American Civil War. Hell, I would be open to the idea if they did one based around World War I or World War II or the Russian Revolution in any way, or during like the Cold War though. I just wonder how much further in the past can you go to the point where you have to at least start doing some maybe in modern times to a certain degree though. So again, it is a rumor. We don't know if this is true or not, so take it with a grain of salt though. But if it is true, it is a little bit unfortunate if the game was canceled and everything. And last but not least, we learned that supposedly a YouTuber by the name of Mangus, if I'm saying this name correctly, supposedly has suggestions about the next Xbox and what kind of chipsets will be into it, and that supposedly it could be a powerful but also expensive one, and maybe a hybrid device though, which if that is the case, I am curious to see if the rumors about the hybrid device are true. We did hear that supposedly there were plans, but they basically put the native hybrid device on the back burner for the time being, as we're seeing with them pushing for, the ROG Ally and ROG Ally X though. However, it is possible things could technically change and we could see a hybrid device for the next Xbox and all. As far as it being powerful but expensive, I wouldn't be completely surprised about that, considering we've seen pre-orders for the ROG Ally X being like $1,000 and supposedly doing very well, but still, that could be a tough pill to swallow for some folks out there, especially with the economy is right now, although we'll have to wait and see how it would be years from now, to be exact. Again, these are just rumors or at this time though, so we don't know 100% if this is true or not, but it's by no means out of the realm of possibility. And the hybrid device, as for that, I mean, if it is similar to if we're seeing something similar to what the Switch is doing, which is the console handheld hybrid though, then I certainly would be down with that. We have been hearing rumors about even Sony doing a another handheld device and all, but we'll see what happens. Again, things could change though, so time will only tell if this so-called rumor or leak is actually true or not. And in the movie and TV show part of the Quick My 2 Cent, we're learning that supposedly season 2 of, I think, Black Panther, Wakanda, if I believe that's the name, could be in trouble. And this has to do with the studio that worked on season 1 is facing bankruptcy and all. So it remains to be seen if we will ever get a season 2 or not. Supposedly the show has gotten very good reviews on Rotten Tomato, but mixed reviews from user fans and all, although some might be calling it, like review bombing or something like that. You could debate whether that is accurate or not. But in either case, if that is the case, that would be a little bit unfortunate, although I have yet to see the show, yet to watch the show and everything. We also learned that supposedly a Donkey Kong movie is in the works at Universal, which Again, nothing confirmed at this time, but I wouldn't be surprised if this rumor is true and everything like that. Given the success that the Super Mario Brothers movie did at the box office, combined with the fact that we're getting the sequel called Super Mario Galaxy, which I'm a little surprised that they went with that direction. Either way, though, this would not surprise me if a Donkey Kong movie is happening. I do think the question is, several questions that still remain is, will Illumination work on the Donkey Kong movie, which I personally think they should? Will this be set before Mario comes to the Donkey Kong's kingdom? Will this be set in the past? Will it be set in the future after Super Mario Brothers movie? So there's a lot of questions that remains to be answered. Like, even who would the villains be? Would King K. Rool be one of the villains? So we'll have to wait and see. But though this is a rumor, I'm leaning towards this most likely being true, considering Nintendo's push to have Donkey Kong be also a very important character, ranging from his appearance in the movie to the latest game that came out, Donkey Kong Bonanza, to even the ride at Universal Studios. So I would say odds are this one is probably true, but we'll wait here for official confirmation. We also learned that supposedly the canceled Paramount Plus Halo show seems to be doing very well on Netflix right now, which is interesting indeed. Now, the 2 seasons were considered controversial depending on who you ask. Some liked it, some didn't, some felt like it should have been canon, part of the gaming universe and all. And I would say my view on it is that the first season was sort of mixed in my view, but the second season I thought improved in some areas, but still kind of mixed indeed though. It will be very interesting to see if this opens the door to the possibility of a 3rd season, or whether or not Netflix decides that they're going to do it and all, and if that's the case, whether they do a 3rd season or just outright reboot the series if that's the case. But it looks like Halo is might be finding second lease on life courtesy of Netflix, but where it goes from there remains to be seen. We also learned that supposedly Tron Ares, despite some of the reviews that have come out so far from it from critics, though, seem to indicate it might be heading for a huge box office. Right now, the claim at the very least seems to be pointing towards the fact that it could be aiming towards a roughly open to $45 million so far. Right now, at least according to some reports, and this one from Varied, seems to debut at a solid $4.8 million from Thursday's previews. We'll have to wait and see what the box office is over on the weekend and all. I'm planning to see, by the time this video comes out on Saturday, I'm planning to see the movie on Saturday though. I'm hoping it does well at the box office though. I do like the Tron series though. I remember watching the original one, still a classic. I enjoyed Tron Legacy when that came out in 2010, so I am definitely hopeful about this one indeed though. I've read some of the reviews, but I will find out when I see the movie, and we'll see if it does well at the box office. For me, my fingers are crossed on on this one though. And last but not least, we're basically learning, at least from comicbookmovies.com, about clearing up whether this James Gunn Superman movie became a box office hit or not. Now, there were some reports showing that it did very well, and some folks were very pleased with James Gunn's Superman movie, but it remains to be seen. There was some indication whether it was a flop or not, but some reports, at least from comicbooks.com, seem to indicate it is, though, considering the fact that you take into account some of the streaming services, especially on having the movie on HBO Max, seem to have done well enough for Warner Brothers. I mean, they even announced that they're moving ahead with a sequel and some of the other entries into the series, including some for HBO Max. So for me, that seemed to indicate that the movie did well enough for Warner Brothers to consider, let's just move ahead with James Gunn's DC cinematic universe and everything. So regardless of what your view about James Gunn's DC Superman movie, whether you loved it or hated it, it seems though, regardless of what the case may be, Warner Brothers is moving ahead with it indeed and all. Okay, with the Quick My 2 Cent part now done, along with the movie and TV show part of the Quick My 2 Cent, we'll get started with our first story, and this one has to do with the Nintendo Switch 2, specifically the DLSS that powers the Nintendo Switch 2 and all. Now, one of the interesting things rumored at the time before Nintendo revealed the Nintendo Switch 2 was the fact that there were rumors talking about it excuse me, utilizing NVIDIA's DLSS, which is their sort of this deep learning sample thing. I'm not a huge tech person to be exact. That usually would help with certain areas of gaming and all, from resolution to frame rates, to be exact. It's often been used as demonstration of this technology used in mostly PC gaming and all. And given the partnership that Nintendo and NVIDIA had, especially with the success of the Switch 1 though, the idea of them using this DLSS was really, I would say a lot of us figured that Nintendo was going to utilize this in the Switch 2. The question is, what kind of form would have been done? Some speculated it was going to be DLSS 3.0. Some believe it would be maybe a custom-made DLSS, and some felt like there may have been some features they may change or something like that though. And when the Nintendo Switch 2 was officially revealed and NVIDIA started talking about it and posting a blog, we later learned that it was basically going to be, that it was official that it was using DLSS. The question really is what version or what kind of DLSS to be exact though. Well, recently this week, Digital Foundry put out a video that basically seems to indicate, assuming this is 100% correct, I don't know if it is for certain, but it does sound like there are two versions of DLSS that powers the Switch 2 and all. In an article from WCCF Tech, it reads, quote, in a new analysis shared on YouTube, Digital Foundry's Aulx takes a deep look at the current available Nintendo Switch 2 games that utilizes NVIDIA's DLSS, such as Cyberpunk 2077, Street Fighter 6, Hogwarts Legacy, Star Wars Outlaw, The Tourist, and Fast Fusion. Analyzing how the upscale is used in each game, the tech explains to highlight how the system seemingly supports two types of NVIDIA's upscaling technology. The first one of Nintendo's DLSS available on the Switch 2 is similar to the CNN model available on PC, offers similar image resolution, anti-aliasing on movements and camera cuts, and discollusion, if I'm saying the name correctly, how elements move into or out of view. Stylish. This type is only used in games that upscale resolution to 1080p to date. The second type, on the other hand, is a long speculated light type, which has a sharper image resolves in stills, but apparently gets turned off on movements and camera cuts and show raw disclusion of pixel. This version of this version of NVIDIA's DLSS is used in games that upscale the resolution to 1080p and beyond. This is hardly surprising due to the performance cost of full flat type of the upscaler, which would impact performance stability at resolutions higher than 1080p. The Nintendo Switch 2's specific system specification. To collaborate the findings, Digital Foundry experts asked a respected game developer about these two types of NVIDIA's DLSS, confirming that they are indeed available on the system with multiple presets. The light type is also newer and has a half the frame time cost of CNN's like model, which makes it a good option for upscaling past 1080p resolution, even if it does not handle movement well. So, assuming what this developer is saying is true, and assuming what Digital Foundry is saying is true, though, I will say that is kind of impressive indeed to know the fact that there are at least two versions available for developers to use if they're using NVIDIA's DLSS for the Switch 2 and all, though. It's going to be interesting to see how developers, if they are utilizing Switch 2 NVIDIA's DLSS, it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize it, especially for a lot of particularly third-party games that we'll probably see next year, to even basically Nintendo themselves. Right now, they have yet to use it, so supposedly at this time, but it will be very interesting to see if for first party or second party studios start using this technology though. And another thing that's going to be very interesting to see is if we see like any update to this DLSS being used in the Switch 2. Could NVIDIA update the DLSS in any way? As we've seen, excuse me, as we've seen it, I believe we've seen updates for it for those who, game on PC or uses NVIDIA's DLSS for those who for PC gaming and all, but it'll be very interesting to see if we see something like that for the Switch 2, since it's the only, at least portable console at this time that's using NVIDIA's DLSS technology compared to what we're seeing right now on the Xbox and the PlayStation, which looks like they're going to be relying on AMD's technology and all. So overall, I would say this is very interesting indeed. The fact that it's using two different versions of DLSS, or at least offering two different versions indeed though. And it'll be very interesting to see, assuming this is true, how other developers, whether it's first, second, or third parties developers, decide to utilize the Switch 2's use of NVIDIA's DLSS and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2, and this one has to do with Microsoft responding to rumors about them winding down their hardware department and all. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my 2 cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be talking about a rumor that started to spread regarding the future of the Xbox and Xbox hardware and all. Now, this generation, at least from Microsoft, I would say has been mixed at best. While I do think the Xbox Series X and S has improved over some of the situation that plagued the Xbox One, there have been some questions on some of the decisions that they have been making, including with the leadership and all. We've seen Microsoft unfortunately get into some controversy, ranging from bringing some of their games onto other platforms, which some folks are okay with, some are not. There's been, the whole controversy surrounding when Tango Gameworks got closed and everything like that. And we've been hearing rounds from layoffs to push the change in leadership, that's rumors with Phil Spencer not really being in control, to recently released last week with the whole Game Pass getting a price hike, which has got some people online shouting foul and everything like that. So it certainly has not been a great, I would say for this year, hasn't been hugely great. There have been certainly games that have been released on the system, which has been, I enjoyed them and all, but Microsoft itself has, let's just say from a PR perspective, has done really a piss poor job in terms of responding to it. Well, supposedly this week though, we had rumors going around, and it started supposedly on Reddit, or I think it was Reddit though, that seemed to indicate that basically that Microsoft may be exiting the hardware business and all. And unfortunately, and given some of the direction, some of the positions Microsoft has made, and some of the response at the very least, it does give that impression that is the case. However, it does seem to indicate that both Microsoft and Windows Central seem to have responded to this, and it sounds like despite this rumor though, they are debunking this and everything. In an article from Pure Xbox, it points out that at least according to Windows Central, they reached out to some of their sources and verified the information and claimed to this conclusion though. So today, rumors begin to swirl across the internet that Xbox is planning to exit hardware and move entirely to Xbox Gaming Cloud gaming as their primary way to access content. I can confirm via a very trusted source that this isn't true, at least for now. For what I've been told, the hardware plans are not even up in the air and remain firmly Xbox path forward. Xbox Series X and S hardware production has not ceased, and new stocks will go out to retailers as usual, clearance and all, which is interesting because there were reports about Costco basically not selling any Xbox hardware or systems and everything. Meanwhile, Microsoft has contacted outlets and put out the following statement, quote, "We are actively investing in our first future first-party console and device design, engineered and built by Xbox. For more details, the community can revisit our agreement announcement with AMD. So, at least according to what Windows Central is saying, and at least what Microsoft is saying, it doesn't sound like Microsoft is leaving the hardware business at all. I mean, we do know that, as I mentioned before, in the quick Mind You Said, there are reports of rumors of what we could expect for the next hardware from Xbox and everything like that. But still, their communication, I will admit, even if this is true, has been terrible, to be exact, though. It's giving the impression that Microsoft is leaving the hardware business and everything like that. And they have not done a good job trying to explain their position very well. I mean, going back to the Tango Gameworks situation, we saw what happened when that happened. And then they were announcing a new controller and talking about, feel the burn and everything like that, which, yeah, eventually got so bad they had to pull that tweet or that post down right away, given the backlash they were suffering from because of the closure of Tango Gameworks, which has now survived and is going with another studio and another company and everything. So I will say, and given the partnership with AMD, it doesn't sound like they are leaving the hardware business. But still, there have been questionable decisions made by Microsoft this generation, including some of the leadership, especially at the top of Microsoft, to be exact. And even if you agree even if you agree with some of their decisions, their PR perspective have been a disaster this generation, though. So for now, it doesn't sound like they're leaving the hardware business, though. But time will ultimately tell down the road and everything. So overall, it doesn't sound like Microsoft is leaving the hardware business, at least according to what Microsoft and what Windows Central is saying. Whether or not they stay in the hardware business remains to be seen at this time. But whatever their decision for the next generation hardware system is, hopefully they can do a better job with this one. Not only with that one, but from a PR perspective, they need to hire better people, because this is a lot of these decisions and a lot of the way they've responded to it has been, in my opinion, piss poor, and at least in my view and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 3, and this one has to do with Nintendo releasing a short video called Close to You. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of my Might You Said video. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at basically Nintendo Pictures releasing a YouTube video called Close to You. Now, one of the things we've been seeing Nintendo lately has been doing is making some of their IPs be more available outside of, their consoles in general, though. We've seen this before in the past, such as putting some of their IPs onto mobile devices to a certain degree. The latest Fire Emblem has come out, although for what I understand, the response to that one has been mixed at best, though. To even going as far as we've been seeing lately, the success, as I pointed out, with the Super Mario Brothers movie doing very well at the box office with a sequel on its way, to even seeing, some of the rides at, Universal Studios and all with I think the Mario Kart ride, to even, the Donkey Kong one as well. So Nintendo has really been basically doing a lot of, basically making their IPs available or to see outside of their consoles and all. And of course, recently we've seen them purchase studios, including one that I think worked on animation and all, has now been title called, Nintendo Pictures. And this week, Nintendo dropped a very short, I think 3-minute video, around 3 minutes, I believe, called Close to You. And when the video popped up, it showed basically a mother with her baby and everything like that, and even some of the blocks starting to move and everything. Now, when the video dropped, there were certain theories running around. Some people thought the baby looked like maybe a baby version of Rosalia. Others pointed out when the blocks started to move, some are pointing this to seem to be Pikmin related. Well, eventually Nintendo did drop the same video but on the Nintendo Today app, and it was later confirmed to be Pikmin related as the blocks, as they showed the Pikmin sort of moving around the blocks and everything like that. Now, I still think this is sort of odd that Nintendo decided to drop this video on YouTube and all, and I do makes you kind of wonder if Nintendo is sort of testing the waters a little bit with Nintendo Pictures in general, though. Could they be aiming for something similar like them, like what Pixar is to Disney to some extent, or Illumination Production is to Universal in any way? Is this sort of a clue giving us an idea that we could see something like an actual Pikmin movie that has been sort of been floating around a bit or anything like that? Could they be taking an approach like what we've seen with Disney has done before in the past, where I think before Wreck-It Ralph was shown, they showed off a short movie called, I think it was called Paper Plane or something like that. It was sort of a black and white type of a movie. Same with The Incredible Chews when that came out. They had a short, Pixar flick and everything like that. I think even WALL-E back in 2008 had a short Pixar flick before the main movie showed up and all. So I'm wondering if they're going to do something similar like that. So it was sort of an odd thing for Nintendo to do, but then again, Nintendo has done some oddball things in the past and all. Sometimes it works in their favor, sometimes it doesn't. This one, I would say, a little bit more work in their favor and all. And I will say, seeing the video myself, it was kind. I mean, it was certainly neat. It was I thought it was an interesting video to see and all. And it will be very interesting to see what Nintendo Pictures does going forward and all. Could we see, other videos as well? Maybe other IPs getting their own one, like Earthbound or Kid Icarus or Star Fox or something like that. So it will be very interesting to see what Nintendo Pictures does in the foreseeable future and all. And it'll be very interesting if this is really testing the waters of them maybe actually doing a Pikmin movie and all. But either way, time will tell over time and all. So overall, I would say it certainly was an interesting thing Nintendo did this week regarding Nintendo Pictures releasing a short 3-minute video called Close to You. Close to You, if I'm saying the name correctly. So certainly odd, but also not necessarily a bad thing in any way. And I thought the video, like I said, I thought it was really neat, but I do wonder if this is setting the stage for something bigger for Nintendo Pictures and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to our I think it's our fourth. Yeah, I think our fourth and final part, and this one has to do with the Circana numbers for August 2025. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final part of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at basically the Circana numbers that have come out for August 2025. Now, I was looking forward to seeing what these numbers were going to be as well, because we're probably going to see how the Switch 2 has been doing so far, despite where the economy has been here and there, to be exact, and seeing where things stand. And it looks like, at least for now, including some of the games though, it seems to be doing well, with also I think some sports titles doing certainly well indeed. Now, this comes from VG Charts though, and they also got the response from Circana, particularly from Matt Piscatella, and this is what they had to say. Quote, they're saying that the Switch 2 sales hit 2.4 million in the US in August, and NBA 2K26 was the top game so far. They said that, quote, the Nintendo Switch 2 in its third month remains the best-selling console in the US for August 2025 in terms of units sold and dollar sales, according to figures from Circana. Circana included data for the 4-week period of August 3rd to the 30th. Circana revealed the Switch 2 has sold 2.4 million in the US and is currently tracking 77% ahead of the original Nintendo Switch after 3 months. The Switch 2 is now tracking, of previous record holder, the PS4, after 3 months, which sold 2.2 million units during the 3 months ending in January 2014. Hardware sales for the Switch 2 were enough to offset the double-digit percentage decline for the PS5 and Xbox Series S and the Nintendo Switch. So it seems the Switch 2 is doing really good for Nintendo so far. Obviously, we will have to hear the official numbers from, I think, whenever the Nintendo's next financial report may be. But right now, despite the price point for the Switch 2 and despite where the economy is at this moment, at least here in the US, it does seem to indicate the Switch 2 seems to be off to a seems to be doing very well at this time. It's going to be interesting to see how well it does during the holidays. That's something we're going to have to keep an eye out. But for now, though, it does seem to be doing good and everything. Now, down to the 20 best selling games of August 2025. Here's what they had to say, quote, they have NBA 2K26 at 1, Madden NFL 26 at number 2, Mafia The Old Country at number 3, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater at number 4, EA Sports College Football 26 at number 5, Gears of War Gears of War Reloaded at number 6, Donkey Kong Bonanza at number 7, EA Sports MPV Bundle 2025 at number 8, EA Sports Kickoff Bundle 2025 at number 9, the new Demon Slayer game at number 10, Minecraft at number 11, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at number 12, Grand Theft Auto 5, a game that won't die or anything like that, at number 13, Helldivers 2 at number 14. Last month it was at number 25, so that's an interesting jump though. Forza Horizon 5 at number 15, Grounded 2 at number 16, WWE 2K 25 at number 17, Hogwarts Legacy at number 18, Story of Season Grand Bazaar, if I'm saying that correctly, at number 19, and Red Dead Redemption 2 at number 20. It was at number 9 though. Still, I do wonder if some of that has to do with the rumors going around about a port of Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch 2 at all. In terms of the 20 best-selling games in 2025 year to date, they have Monster Hunter Wilds at number 1, EA Sports College Football 26 at number 2, The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster at number 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at number 4, NBA 2K26 at number 5, Elden Ring Nightreign at number 6, at number 7, I'm sorry, WWE 2K25 at number 8, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 at number 9, Madden NFL 26 at number 10, Splits Fiction at number 11, Forza Horizon 5 at number 12, EA Sports MPV Bundle 2025 at number 13, NBA 2K25 at number 14, Minecraft at number 15, the latest Civilization game at number 16, Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 17, PGA Tour 2K25 at number 18, Doom: The Dark Ages at number 19, and EA Sports FC 25 at number 20. In terms of the top 10 premium games or best-selling premium games on the PlayStation, on the PlayStation platform, we have NBA 2K26 at number 1, Madden NFL 26 at number 2, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater at number 3, Mafia The Old Country at number 4, EA Sports College Football 26 at number 5, Gears of War Reloaded at number 6, EA Sports MPV Bundle 2025 at number 7, EA Sports Kickoff Bundle 2025 at number 8, and Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at number 9, and the newest entry in the Demon Slayer games at number 10. In terms of onto the 10 best-selling premium games on the Xbox platform, we have NBA 2K26 at number 1, Madden NFL 26 at number 2, Mafia The Old Country at number 3, EA Sports College Football 26 at number 4, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater at number 5, EA Sports Kickoff Bundle at number 6, excuse me, EA Sports MPV Bundle at number 7, Minecraft at number 8, WWE 2K25 at number 9, and the newest entry in the Demon Slayer series at number 10. Now over on to Nintendo's platform, which obviously is coming to Switch and Switch 2. We have Donkey Kong Bonanza at number 1, Madden NFL 26 at number 2. Story of Season Grand Bazaar, if I'm saying the name correctly, at number 3. Super Mario Party Jamboree at number 4. Hogwarts Legacy at number 5. Kirby and the Forgotten Land at number 6. It was last month at number 36. I wonder if some of that had to do with that excuse me, Switch 2 version that recently came out. Mario Kart 8 at number 7. Minecraft at number 8. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom at number 9. And Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at number 10. And then finally, over on the best-selling premium PC games, or the games on PC, they have Madden NFL 26 at number 1, Mafia The Old Country at number 2, Grounded 2 at number 3, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater at number 4, Helldivers 2 at number 5, NBA 2K26 at number 6, Elden Ring Nighton at number 7, Gears of War Reloaded at number 8, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at number 9, and Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 10. So obviously, I think some of the big takeaways from some of this is pretty much sports titles have been pretty much been doing very well, which shouldn't really be surprising to a lot of folks and everything. So the fact that it's doing very well indeed is certainly isn't a huge shocker and all. So that certainly isn't really surprising though. The two biggest ones for me, and this is sort of Nintendo related, is the Switch 2 hitting, some pretty good numbers so far indeed. So that certainly is doing very well. But the other big surprise is that if you go over and take a look at the best-selling, premium games from Nintendo platform, we have like say 1, 2, 3, and 4 basically third-party games make it onto the top 10 best, selling premium games on Nintendo platform for August 2025, which is very interesting indeed, at least to some extent, because in the past, outside of maybe a couple games here and there, majority of the time it's dominated by first-party games, and to see a bit more and more third-party games make it on that list is going to be very interesting to see, and it'll be interesting down the road if we see more of those titles, make it in there. So it is certainly interesting indeed. I'm glad to see Donkey Kong Bonanza is still doing well. Indeed. I am very curious to see what happens when Metroid Prime 4 Beyond comes out, to see how well that game does, especially on the Circana number. So time will ultimately tell for that one indeed though, but overall I would say for August 2025's Circana numbers, sports titles were obviously the biggest winner of them all, but also Nintendo Switch 2 continues to sell very well, so Nintendo's got to be happy with that, although we'll still have to hear from their fiscal report. And it's very interesting to see, ranging from Donkey Kong Bonanza still doing very well to seeing more third-party games make it onto that list indeed. And it'll be interesting to see if we see more of that in future Circana numbers and all. So in either case, it looks like August was a good month for sports titles and the Switch 2 in general and all. Okay, this concludes this My Two Set video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about this report about Switch 2 having 2 different types of DLSS in the system though, in the Switch 2 system and everything? Do you think this is a neat approach that they're doing with this DLSS for the Switch 2 in any way? Do you think this can open the door for maybe future updates for the DLSS for the Switch 2 and all? And do you think we could see? Do you think we'll see what developed third-party or even first or second-party developers do in terms of see how they utilize the DLSS and everything? What are your thoughts about Microsoft's comment in regards of rumors about them exiting the hardware business and all, or at least in regards to the Xbox and everything? Do you think that it was right for them to respond to this rumor in any way? Do you think it brings comfort to the fact that they respond and say they're still in the hardware business and everything? Or do you think that there's still some concerns considering some of the decisions or some of the approach Microsoft has been making lately? What are your thoughts about this so-called Nintendo picture video, the short video called Close to You that Nintendo put out though? Do you want to see more of these kind of shorts from Nintendo by any chance, or Nintendo Pictures? Would you like to see Nintendo Pictures actually do like a movie or a TV show in any way? Do you think this is a sign indicating we might see a Pikmin-like movie by any chance? And what are your thoughts about the August Circana numbers, August 2025 Circana numbers, Indy? Do you think it was neat to see several sports titles do very well? Were you into any of those sports titles and all? Were you surprised to see the Switch 2 is continuing to do very well despite the economy where it is right now? Were you kind of surprised to see some third-party titles actually make their way into like the top 10 Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo games for August 2025 by any chance? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal Me, Patreon, or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this either on YouTube or Patreon. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!